More fragrance hauls. Let's talk about it.
Here's some codes to save you some cash on your next Middle Eastern niche or designer fragrances.
What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. So, more fragrances added to my collection. Look, we're gonna be doing a lot of giveaways, okay? And it's very likely that there's a giveaway going on right this second. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit it, and you're already automatically entered to win in the next giveaway. You just have to follow those rules. Like, it's usually just comment #AROMATIX and done, and like the video. I don't ask you to like hula hoop with one hand behind your neck and all that weird stuff. No, it's literally just that. USA, that's it, done. All right, side note as well, I do spend my hard-earned money to bring you these reviews. I buy a lot of these fragrances exclusives from Spain. I spend more expensive or higher price tag dollars just to be able to get these reviews to you guys. I'm not gonna say that I don't enjoy it. I love it. I'd be lying to say if I don't love it, but I'm sharing my passion with you guys, and I'm doing this work so that I can provide you guys some entertainment so that we can make a connection through this journey and hobby and passion more so of fragrance. So if you appreciate it, you can easily show me your appreciation for free by just hitting that subscribe button, and it's done. So today we're gonna be talking about 3 fragrances, but I did in fact pick up 5 fragrances from Macy. They had their VIP sale, which was 15% off. I picked up about 5 fragrances. I think it came out to almost 600 bucks. It was like $596, but that's aside from the point. That saved me a lot of money. So it would have been about 700 bucks, 720, I believe. So yes, I saved some money on some fragrances that I was already thinking about getting. One of the ones that I picked up, Polo 67, and a few others that are not gonna be in this video is going to be Dior Homme 2020 Sport and Dior Homme Cologne 2020 as well. The reason I picked those up is because I have the older formulations. I think it was 2017 or pre-2020. Yeah, pre-2020 batch. And I wanted to do the comparisons for myself. I didn't want to look up anybody's review and just be as honest and genuine as possible. When I was in the duty free, I remember sniffing a few of them and saying that, or realizing that there are some slight differences. So be on the lookout for that full video, full length video where I do the comparisons between both of those. I think that those are great fragrances. I believe them to be some of the best and most essential men's summertime fragrances in my opinion. I'm also going to be talking about the original Dior Homme versus Dior Homme 2020 comparison in that video, and some other discontinued gems from Dior. So like I said, subscribe, notification bell, etc., and you'll be notified. So today I'm going to do a full review for Polo Blue 60. Well, no, it's not even blue. It's Polo 67, and we're also going to be talking about Boss Bottled Triumph Elixir, funny story to this one, and Carolina Herrera's Good Girl Blush Elixir. I even buy women's fragrances because I feel like if I'm going to recommend a fragrance or give you a genuine, honest impression, or just in general a review, or just suggestion, if I'm going to put them on lists, etc., I feel like I should at least live with them. Doesn't necessarily mean I always have to have them in my collection, and it doesn't mean that anybody that doesn't have it in their collection is invalid. This is just the way I like to do things. I like to actually have the fragrance, live with it, maybe wear it to bed. I'm not gonna wear some of these outside, but honestly, I have rocked some of them. Some of them are a little bit more unisex, some of them lean slightly femme, but I'm pretty confident it doesn't really bother me. So I like to actually test the fragrances because at the end of the day, I am a fragrance reviewer. So yeah, feminine or not, I'm gonna review them. That's what I like to do at least. Some of them I'm not compelled to do a full length, but I will mention them in lists. And when I mention them in lists, it means something. So that's why I bought Blush Elixir. I get questioned a lot from a lot of gentlemen, why did you buy it? Do you wear them? No, I don't wear them, I review them. I'm a reviewer at the end of the day. All right, so Polo 67, we've got some notes of bergamot, lemon, pineapple, sage, juniper, rose hip, so the hip of roses, and then vetiver, patchouli, and goldenrod. So there's a goldenrod in here, man. Goldenrod. I'll tell you what, this opens up pretty citric forward. It opens up like a lot of freshies, like a lot of other freshies. Very mass appealing opening, but within the first 20 minutes, it starts to get a lot more aromatic. The juniper and sage really start to become prominent. For me personally, it gets a little bit more ambery and also woody as well. It warms up just a little bit, developing this sweetness, similar sweetness to other fragrances that do that whole bubblegummy, slight bubblegummy vibe like YSL EDT, but it smells to me like it takes Polo Red, those citrus forward type of fragrances, and combines it with something blue, like a blue backbone, but it's much more than just a blue fragrance. It's actually fresher than I would have thought for this color bottle, basically. So in the top, citrus forward, pretty good, inoffensive. You could easily rock this during school, gym, office, literally anywhere and everywhere. This is not an offensive fragrance, and it actually hung on for a decent amount of time. I got a solid 7 hours, and even probably to the 8-hour mark because of those woods. But it projected for a good 3 hours. I could smell myself. I was leaving scent trails, a lot of scent trails. And that's the thing with a lot of freshies. If you look for freshies and you want something that lasts, most of the times they're gonna be fragrances with notes of aromatics, etc., because those usually hang on a lot longer. They're less volatile than some of those musks, or depending on the musk really, those citruses, I should say. So yeah, basically smells like a fresh fragrance. fragrance with some aromatics. It's not going to be anything brand new. Reminds me slightly of Polo Red Parfum, but also has that Polo Blue vibes, etc. Not a bad release. I think that this is a solid 7.5 out of 10. I think that anybody could rock this one. I don't regret buying that one, and if I had the opportunity to, I would buy it again. I actually like that one more than I like Polo Blue and Polo Blue Parfum and all of the Polo Blues, but it's no surprise because I really like aromatics. So in comparison to some of those Polo Blue fragrances, I would say that this is probably riding on a solid 8. But on its own, it's like a 7.5 to an 8. Let's just say that that's a solid 7.5 in the designer realm. It's nothing new, nothing groundbreaking, but I mean, it's a little bit better than neutral. So a 7.5 is a fair score for that one. The next one I'm gonna be talking about is Boss Bottled Triumph Elixir. This is one of the newest ones. At the time of getting this, it was not even available in the States. I went to Macy's and asked for Boss Bottled Elixir, and I think the lady was thinking that I was talking about Triumph Elixir. She went to the back and pulled this out. I didn't even realize it was Triumph Elixir, and she handed it to me. She's like, yeah, we do have it. So I was like, oh, okay. I grabbed it and I didn't even notice, and I did a short. After the short, I realized that, wait a minute, when I sprayed this on, this doesn't smell the same. And sure enough, it's not the same because it's Triumph Elixir. Not only does it have the vetiver, labdanum, and patchouli, but to my nose, I detect this violet, essentially. Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum is what I get vibes of with this one. It's a little bit richer, but it goes more towards like the vetiver and a little bit more leathery. This is a bit bolder, but very close to something like Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum. So yeah, I do get those vibes. It's actually gets pretty, it smells like it could be a flanker of Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum. The one difference I will say is that this one emphasizes a little bit more on those earthy nuances, the lumberjack vibes from the vetiver and the patchouli. So it's like if Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum had patchouli and vetiver, essentially is what it is. Not a bad release, and considering the fact that Le Parfum is pretty hard to find, this is actually pretty good. Initially, I didn't draw the resemblance between this and Le Parfum, but as this one was sitting on my skin, I started to think about a few fragrances that I have in my collection that this is kind of reminding me of, and it was exactly that. Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum, which I picked up on my way to Dubai at the duty free. So Le Parfum is pretty expensive. This one might be around, actually they might be around the same price because of the elixirs, they're charging a lot. But this right off the bat does smell like it's going to last a little bit longer. Le Parfum didn't really last the longest on me. I know a lot of you guys get decent performance, but for me, I didn't get more than 6 hours. This one seems like it's gonna last longer, and it's definitely more woodsy and focusing on that vetiver a lot more than something like Le Parfum. So while I think this is a pretty good fragrance, I'm not like ecstatic about it. I was never ecstatic about Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum, but this one for me has a little bit more of an appeal personally than Le Parfum because of the fact that the longevity issue, etc. This one's richer to my nose at least. So I like this one. I think it's a solid like 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. I think the scent profile, the uniqueness, it's not really that unique, but in comparison to the other fragrances we have in the community, I think this is going to be a pretty successful release, especially for the gentlemen who love fragrances like Dior Homme Le Parfum or Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum. Last but not least is going to be Carolina Herrera's Good Girl Blush Elixir. I initially fell in love with Carolina Herrera blush. It's a little bit musky, slightly sweet, some berries, and then they released Carolina Herrera's Good Girl Blush Elixir. So this one takes the original basically and sweetens it up significantly, but also adds a lot more of a thickness to it and an earthiness to it from that patchouli. This isn't going to be as mass appealing as the original Carolina Herrera's blush. Reason being is because it's a lot sweeter actually. It's a lot sweeter, a lot raunchier, and it's really as simple as that. It basically takes the original, adds a little bit of a yellow floral nuance. I think the ylang ylang is a bit enhanced in this one, adds a lot more vanilla and some of that patchouli. That's what I get to my nose, at least in terms of the differences between blush and blush elixir. This is going to be like the nighttime version of this. They are relatively close. It just seems like you took this and dosed up some of the oils and concentration from this one to this one with adding some of those earthy nuances. This isn't going to be, like I said, a daily wear either because of the fact that it's richer, it's denser, can be cloying, especially if you wear it in the wrong seasons. Whereas this one, you can easily get away with signature scenting this one a lot more so than you can with Elixir. So not necessarily a better flanker, but a sexier and more date night approved flanker is gonna be Blush Elixir. If you don't like sweet fragrances, ladies, don't even bother with this one because it does go extremely sweet. The other main difference is going to be the floral aspect of this fragrance. This has a rich rose, the Carolina Herrera's Good Girl Elixir, while this one has a lighter and a bit soapier peony. So this overall smells like a much lighter, muskier, brighter florals, slight sweetness, whereas this is richer, denser, creamier musk with that rich rose and thicker sweetness. That's the best way I could describe the differences between both of these. This is more date night appropriate, can be cloying if you overspray or wear it in the wrong season, whereas this one you could easily signature scent this all year round and you'll smell clean and sexy. So for me, I think the best overall pick will be Blush, But for those who are looking for a bit sexier vibes for like later that night, the Elixir is not a bad pick. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 5 new fragrances added to my collection. Stay tuned for that comparison video. Don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And until the next video.